Good evening, friends, fiends, and night owl supremes. Welcome to A Bit Late. It's me, A Bit Frank here, and tonight we're reading another, well, I wouldn't say light-hearted fairy tale, and certainly not unsooty. Well, we'll see, won't we? Without further ado, get comfy, get cozy, as I present to you Mother Hulda. There was once a widow who had 2 daughters. The elder of the girls was cross and ugly, but the mother loved her dearly because she was exactly like herself, and also because she was her own daughter. The younger girl was only her stepdaughter, and because of this, and also because the girl was good and pretty, the mother hated her, and she did all she could to make her life miserable. Why do all the stepmothers have to be mean and terrible? I know they're probably fearful and jealous for their own daughter's prospects, but come on now, really? One day, the good daughter sat by the well spinning. As she spun, she wept because she was so unhappy. The tears blinded her eyes, and presently she pricked her finger, and a drop of blood fell on the flax. And she named her daughter Snow. No, I'm kidding, that didn't happen in this story. What really happens? The girl was frightened, for she feared her stepmother would scold her when she saw the flax. So she stooped over the edge of the well to try to wash the blood off of it, but the spindle slipped from her hand and sank down and down through the water until it was lost to sight. What was worse than ever, the girl did not know what her stepmother would do to her when she heard the spindle had been lost down the well. Still, she was obliged to confess. The widow was indeed very angry. "You good-for-nothing," she cried. "You are the trouble of my life. Out of my sight, and do not dare return until you can bring the spindle with you." And she gave the girl a push so that she almost fell over. The girl was so frightened and unhappy that she ran out the door. Without stopping to think, she jumped into the well. Down, down she sank through the waters, just as the spindle had done. And when she reached the bottom, she found herself in a broad green meadow with a road leading across it. The girl followed the road, and presently she came to a baker's oven that stood beside the way, and it was full of bread. The girl was about to pass by, but the loaves inside called to her, "Take us out, take us out. If we are left in the oven any longer, we will burn." What if bread really talked like that? Like, imagine screaming at you not to burn, but then you eat it? Would that be better or worse for the bread? She was surprised to hear the bread speak to her, but she opened the door and drew the loaves out and set them neatly on end to cool. Then she went on. A little farther, she came to an apple tree. It was so loaded down with fruit that the branches bent with the weight of it. shake me," cried the apple tree. "My apples are ripe and my boughs are like to break with the weight of them." The girl shook the apple tree and the apples fell about her in a shower. I can't not think of Animal Crossing right now with the 3 apples. She piled the apples neatly about the tree and went on her way. After a while, she came to a little house, and an ugly old woman with long yellow teeth was looking out of the window. The girl was frightened at the old woman's looks and was about to turn away, but the woman called to her, "Do not be afraid. I will not hurt you. I need a serving maid. Come in, and if you serve me faithfully, I will reward you well." The girl did not feel afraid any longer. She opened the door and went in. The old woman took her upstairs and showed her a great feather bed. "I am Mother Hulda," she said. "It is I who send out the frost and snow over the world. Every day you must give my bed a good beating. Then, when the feathers fly, it snows upon the earth." The girl stayed with Mother Hulda many months. Every day she gave the bed such a good beating that the feathers flew, and there was much snow that year. Mother Hulda was very much pleased with her. She was kind to her, and the girl had all she wanted to eat, and of that the best, and a comfortable bed to sleep in. But all the same, by the time winter was over, she began to feel sad and dull. She longed to see her home and her mother and sister too, even though they were unkind to her. Oof, I don't know about that one, girl. "Now I see it is time for you to go back to the earth again," said Mother Hulda. "You have served me well and faithfully, and you shall be rewarded as I promised you." Then she opened a closet and brought out the girl's spindle and gave it to her. After that, she took the girl by hands and led her out of the house along a road to a great gate that stood open. "There lies your way," said Mother Hulda. The girl passed out through the gate, As she did so, a shower of gold fell all about her like rain and stuck to her so that she glittered from head to foot with gold. Even her shoes and her clothes were golden. "That is my reward to you because you have been a good servant," cried Mother Hulda. Then the gate closed and the girl ran along the road quickly and came to the house of her stepmother. As she entered the gate, the cock crowed loudly, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, our golden girl's come home again." She entered the house, and now her mother and sister were glad to see her because she was covered in gold. They asked her where she had been and who had given her all that treasure. The girl told them, and they were filled with envy. Never mind that she had been gone so long and she could have died. Never mind all that, of course. "Here, take your spindle," cried the widow to her own daughter. "Throw it in the well and jump down after it. If Mother Hulda has rewarded your sister in this way, what will she not do for you? No doubt you will come home all covered in diamonds and rubies." "Mighty high opinion of your daughter, and because she's a reflection of you yourself, madame." The ugly girl took her spindle and threw it down the well as her mother bade her, and jumped in after it. Down, down she went, just as her sister had done, and there was the great green meadow with the road leading across it. The girl hurried along the road, for she was in haste to reach Mother Hulda's house and get a reward, and presently she came to the oven. Take us out, cried the loaves inside. "We will burn if we are left in here any longer." "Are they the same loaves as before, or different loaves, or is it like the level resets when someone else jumps down and it's the same loaves but a different instance?" I always have thoughts about these kind of things. "Why should I blacken my hands for you?" cried the girl. "Stay where you are, and if you burn, no one will be the worse for it but yourselves." And so saying, she went on her way. A little further on, she came to the apple tree, and its boughs were bent with the weight of the fruit it bore. Shake me," cried the apple tree. "My fruit is ripe, and my boughs are like to break with the weight of it." "Not I," cried the girl. "I will not shake you. Suppose one of the apples should fall upon my head. Your boughs may break for all of me." And so she went on her way, munching an apple that she had picked up from off the ground. She couldn't even pick one off the tree to help the tree of the slightest bit. It was not long before she came to Mother Hulda's house, and there was Mother Hulda herself looking out of the window. The ugly girl was not afraid of her and her long teeth, for the good sister had already told her about them. She marched up to the door and opened it as bold as bold. "I have come to take service with you," she said, "and to get the reward." "Very well," answered Mother Hulda. "If you serve me well and faithfully, the reward shall not be lacking." She then took the ugly girl upstairs and showed her the bed, and told her how she was to shake and beat it. Then she left her there. The ugly girl began to beat the bed, but she soon tired of it and came downstairs and asked if there was supper ready. Mother Hulda frowned, but she said nothing and gave the girl a good supper of bread and meat. The next day the ugly girl hardly beat the bed at all, and the next day it was still worse. At the end of the week, hardly a flake of snow had floated out over the world. "You will never do for me," said Mother Hulda. "You will have to go." "Very well," answered the girl. "I am willing, but first give me my reward." "Yes, you shall have your reward, and you deserve it." She opened the closet and took out the spindle and gave it to her, and led her along the road to the open gate. The girl was very much pleased. "Now, in a moment," she thought, "I will be all covered with gold the way my sister was, unless I am covered with diamonds and rubies." "There lies your way," cried Mother Hulda. The girl ran through the gate, but instead of gold or precious stones, a shower of soot fell over her so that she was blacked from head to foot. "That is the reward of your services," cried Mother Hulda to the girl, and then she banged the gate and locked it so the girl could not come back. So the lazy daughter ran home, crying, and as she entered the gate the cock crowed loudly, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, our sooty girl's come home again." Cinderella, am I right? And try as she might, the ugly girl could never get the soot entirely off her. But as to the good sister, she was married to a great nobleman and lived happily ever after. The end. I wonder if the soot never came off the older daughter, if the gold flakes never came off the younger daughter? Did she look like one of those vampires all the time, like sparkling in the sun? You know, like would the glitter get everywhere all the time like glitter does? I don't know. Something I've been thinking about. Also, diamonds and rubies covering your body would be so painful. Like imagine blinking. I guess imagine blinking with soot or gold flakes as well. So there are some similarities between this tale and the tale. The fairies in general concepts, I would say. In details, I kind of like this one. It's a little richer. But without any more from me, I do hope you enjoyed tonight's tale. Now off to sleep and dream what you will, or stay a while and enjoy another tale. Whichever you choose, I'll speak to you again. And until then, sweet dreams, my friend. Good night.